Okay, good morning, guys. Welcome to day 2 of this 4th week. So yesterday we saw absolute value equations and inequalities, and we had some rules for the equations and some rules for the inequalities. Today we're going to work in some exercises. So remember to place at the very right the date, November 16th, 2021. And I'm going to start writing some of the exercises that we're going to be working with, okay? So I'm going to do it handwritten, okay? Better, it will be handwritten. And we're going to say the first one, absolute value of r minus 9 equals to 15. Okay, now remember the rules. When it is an equation, to solve an equation in the form of absolute value of a equals to b, where a represents a variable expression and b is greater than 0, then you solve a equals to b and a equals to negative b. So in this case, a is everything inside the absolute value and b is everything on the other side. In this case, 15, and it is greater than 0. So we're going to say r minus 9 equals to 15. And we're going to say r minus 9 equals to negative 15. Okay? And we're going to solve it like a normal equation. So we're going to leave the variable completely alone. The negative 9 goes to the other side, doing what?
Going positive.
Positive, correct. So what now we have r is equal to 15 plus 9. How much is 15 plus 9?
24.
24. Okay. And we finished with the first part. This is the first answer. Remember, we're going to have two answers. Now, let's solve the other one. The 9 was subtracting. It also goes adding. And we're going to have r is equal to negative 15 plus 9. How much is negative 15 plus 9?
Negative 6.
36.
Negative 6. Correct. Now, just to show you why b has to be greater than 0, why it has to be a positive number, okay? So we're going to see why. So if we use 24, we should have, this is just how we are going to check it, okay? This is just for you to understand why it is a positive number always. So we have 24 minus 9. If I substitute the value of r in here, right? 24 minus 9, that is 15. What is the absolute value of 15? Well, in this case, 15. And it is correct. Okay. Now let's see the other one. The other one would be negative 6 minus 9. Negative 6 minus 9, that is negative 15. What is the absolute value of negative 15?
Positive 15.
Positive 15. Now, is there any possibility that you can have r minus 9 inside of an absolute value equals to negative 15? Is there any possibility where you can have a negative 15 as an answer if we have an absolute value? If we solve this, is there any number inside an absolute value that will give you negative 15? Does that possibility exist? Does a possibility exist that absolute value is a negative number? No, it does not exist. There is no possibility. What are you going to say in that case if you have that? from the beginning that you see a negative number and there's nothing else, like if for example, we had over here plus negative 16. This negative 16 goes to the other side, adding negative 15 plus 16, then it would be positive 1. In that case, then it is possible to have a negative. But if there's no other way, then no, you're going to say no solution. Okay? So that's why it cannot be a number less than 0. I'm going to erase that, but it will be on the video so you can remember on that part. Okay, so that's why it has to be a number greater than 0. Okay, because there's no possibility. What does that mean? It means that this exercise, is it possible? 4 is equal to the absolute value of S minus 3. Is this possible? Is it possible? Can we solve that? How do we solve that? How do we solve that? Okay, so the first thing is to leave the absolute value alone. That would be the first step, to leave whatever's inside of the absolute value alone. So this negative should go to the other side, positive. So now we have 4 plus 3 is equal to the absolute value of S. How much is 4 plus 3?
7.
7 is equal to the absolute value of S. Now we're going to separate that according to the rules, where we have 7 is equal to the absolute value of S and negative 7, I'm sorry. We are going to have 7 is equal to S without the absolute value, and negative 7 is equal to S. And you have both answers in there. In this case, it is possible that you have a negative sign in there because you have something else that you're going to be adding, okay, to it. So it becomes a positive number. Questions? No? We clear? Clear as water? Okay, now let's do inequalities, okay? So now we're going to begin with absolute value of y minus 1 is less than or equal to positive 8. That's the first one. Okay, less than or equal. Let's go and see the rules. So if we have a less than, this could be less than or equal. To solve an inequality in the form of variable expression inside absolute value less than b, then we solve with an and compound inequality. Negative b less than a less than b. So this, I'm going to leave it there. We should say, okay, this is going to be solved negative 8 less than or equal to y minus 1 less than or equal to positive 8. And now I'm going to move it back to where I need it. And we're going to solve that and inequality. So we're going to divide it. This should be the first one. And this is the second one. So I'm going to write it in black. Negative 8 is less than or equal to y minus 1. And in green, y minus 1 is less than or equal to positive 8. Now remember, it says variables go on the left, constants go on the right. So this variable should go over here, negative, and this should go to the other side, positive. What do I have now? Now I have y negative is less than or equal to negative 1 plus 8. Negative y is less than or equal, negative 1 plus 8.
Positive 7.
Positive 7. But I have a negative sign with the y. So I'm going to say that y It's now no longer less than, it's greater than or equal to -7. Why? Because the negative sign changes everything on both sides. And I finished with the first one. Second one, variables are on the left, check. Constant should go on the right. So this constant should go over here, added. So what do I have? I have that y is less than or equal to 8 plus 1. How much is 8 plus 1?
9.
So y is greater than or equal to 9. And I'm not done until I graph. So I'm going to graph in blue. As you can see, they're both closed. Okay. I'm going to pick over there the numbers. This is -7. And this is +9. They're closed. So I'm going to close this one in red. And according to that, and I'm going to do this other one in green over there. They're closed as well. And now I'm going to shade. Y is greater than -7. So it goes to the right. And y is less than or equal to 9. So I go to the left. So it goes joint. And that is how we do an inequality this way. Questions? No questions? Easy peasy breezy lemon squeezy. I'm gonna separate the exercises for you. That's 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna do over here another inequality. Okay, now I'm gonna do absolute value of 3c minus 4 is greater than 12. This is greater. Okay, let's go with the rules. When we have the absolute value greater than b or greater than or equal, then we do an OR inequality. A less than -b and a greater than b. So I'm going to say 3c minus 4 less than -12, or 3c minus 4 greater than 12. They're open. Okay, remember these are open, and we're gonna follow the rules. Variables on the left, check. Constants on the right, no. So this constant should go to the other side, added. So we have 3c is less than -12 plus 4. 3c is less than, how much is 12 plus 4? -12 plus 4.
-8.
-8. Now this 3 needs to go to the other side dividing. We don't flip the sign because it is positive. So we have the c is less than -8 over 3. We have our first number. Let's go with the second one. Variables on the right, on the left, check. Constants on the right, no. This should go to the other side. It goes added. So now I have 3c is greater than 12 plus 4. How much is 12 plus 4?
16.
So 3c is greater than 16. Now the 3 is multiplying, should go to the other side dividing. So I have that c is greater than 16 divided by 3. I'm not gonna pass it to decimals. I'm gonna leave it like that, okay? One is negative, one is positive. So it's not difficult to determine which one goes first and which one goes afterwards. So I'm gonna place one here. I'm gonna place the other one here. This is -8 over 3 because negatives go on the left. That's an awful 3. And this is 16 over 3. And I'm not passing it either to a fraction, mixed number, or a decimal. So we said that they were both opens. I did this in blue, so I'm going to keep it blue. And I did the other one in green, so I'm going to keep it green. So now let's shade. According to our rules that we saw, when it is an OR, it goes in opposite directions. Let's check that. C is less than, so less than goes to this side. And C is greater than goes to the right. And indeed, it was true. They went in opposite sides. And that's how we do the other rule or the other exercise according to the rules that we were given for inequalities, for equations and for inequalities. And we saw already why it cannot be a negative number, because an absolute value will never be negative. Okay, remember that absolute values are never negative. So do you have any question about the topic right now? No questions? We're good? Okay, so you're going to have to do some quick exercises. Okay, I'm gonna give you some quick exercises, which I'm going to write over here. Okay, so only 4 quick exercises. And that means that you're gonna have 2 extra points, okay? So solve the absolute value equation or inequality. And this will be available for you to upload all the way until 12:20, which is the end of recess, of lunch, okay? So exercise 1, we're going to have absolute value of x minus 5 is equal to -1. The second one would be 3 absolute value of d minus 4, close the absolute value, equals to 12. Number 3 will be an inequality. And we are going to have absolute value of y plus 4, close absolute value, greater than 12. And the fourth one, greater than or equal, okay? This is greater than or equal. And the fourth one, very last, is gonna be absolute value of 2t plus 2 over 3. Okay, that's the fraction, and the fraction goes inside the absolute value. Let's make the absolute value with this. So you know that it includes the number, okay? So let me place it over here. It includes the 2/3, okay? 2t plus 2/3 inside the absolute value, less than 4. And that is the quick exercise that you are going to be solving right now. Only the quick exercises are the ones that need to be uploaded to Schoology, okay? So this video will be uploaded today, okay? And remember, in our next class, we are going to have a classwork from the book, and you're gonna have a homework, okay? So basically, this is it. Do you have any questions? No questions, we good. Topic is easy, right? Okay. So this is the second part of the topic of absolute value equations and inequalities.